began to depend more on the Lord and less on myself. I noticed it worked out better when he was in on the deal. My work at the station was mainly sales and service. When I was in college, I decided I wanted to be a vocational ag teacher, and one place you have to be a good salesman is when you're teaching. There were about 40 in my class in college, and when we had our practice teaching, mine was close by because I had to work, and they had a lot of practice teachers in that class, and they knew how to throw them, and we got along fine. I was one of the top 4 rated out of 44. At that time, you had to put your religion on your application. When they saw I was a Catholic, everybody backed off. One opening in southwest Kansas was in my territory, and I couldn't get the job, so I just kept on going to college. In 1934, when Franklin Roosevelt and his New Deal came in, the AAA program began, and they needed several new county agents in counties where they had never been able to get them before. 14 of us were applying for the jobs, and the men were picking the good counties as they come up. About halfway through, they said they had one county they felt couldn't be organized. They had tried it many times, and it couldn't be done. They said, however, whoever takes this county could stay a few years, and then we'd get them another job somewhere else. I told them this was the county I wanted. This old boy looked at me kind of stupid and said, "You mean you want this county?" I said, "Yes, I do." When we were out on the ranch, the neighbor had an outlaw horse that nobody could break. He could pile a cowboy anytime she wanted to, and maybe he would be 5 miles from home, and he might land on a cactus and have to walk all that way. It'd be a miserable trip. I was in the 2nd grade, and my brother was in the 6th grade. My brother had to own that horse, so we traded him out of it, and this horse would run from one hill to another one, and my brother just couldn't stand to watch that horse being such a beautiful horse that couldn't be trained. So we took a big rope with a halter on it, and we took a bridle for the outlaw. He got on and rode her back for 6 miles. I had her snubbed up to the saddle horn and ready to throw my leg back if she came striking, but she didn't do that. That was the horse I was riding was a big saddle horse, a good one and sturdy, and she could handle it. After we made such a good cutting horse out of this one, whenever a rancher around there had a hard horse to break, something they couldn't handle, they would send the horse over to us. So we always had a surplus of saddle horses we could ride, and we kept them busy most of the time. My dad had told me that horses were a lot like people. You will find outlaws you can't do anything with, and you have to watch them. But most of them, if you treat them right, they'll treat you right. We always used this psychology on them. We would snub them up to where they couldn't get the advantage, and then we'd never let them know they were bigger than we were. We would kill them with kindness, petting them on the face, currying them and giving them grain, which they really liked. they would look for us to come around, and we became buddies. We had horses that would strike and kick at us as we walked by. They turned out to be wonderful horses. That was the thinking that caused me to say I wanted that county. They felt couldn't be organized. I thought if I could make a name for myself, when I would get something better, then I'd get something better. I went out to Ellis County, Kansas,